Hi, everybody. This is Rev Lorena, the old sage, owner of the Celestial Time Renaissance Troupe, and soon we will be seeing you in Texas. We'll be doing the live in the Sherwood Forest Renaissance Fair, but for today, I'm still home, and we still have snow. We still have ice. It's just pitiful, but thankfully, we didn't get any power outages and any of that awfulness. Anybody that has, I feel so sorry for you. I mean, I really do. There's people that still don't have any power, and and for that, I just wish I could help. I just send you all kinds of positive juju. Today, I want to talk about duality because the news and everything. I mean, the experience of duality, and duality is the illusion. In my book, Duality is the Illusion, the first part of it, I tell you about one of the booming voices that showed up in my world that said duality is the illusion way back 30, 40 years ago. And I study science of mind. I've studied all kinds of new thought and metaphysics over my 40 plus years of doing metaphysics. I'm an astrologer, and I'm a reader, and I'm a minister, and I'm a Reiki master, and all those. I've got the menu, okay, because I've had plenty of time to do the menu. But what I did understand from that way back in the beginning, duality is truly an illusion. And we need duality, right or wrong, good or bad, this or that. Uh, Democrat or Republican, red or blue, green or white, and pink or purple. It only matters if it matters to you, and it only matters if you understand that what you're doing is in a way being played, but you're not being played by the other side. You're being played by what I call loosh. My last book is so appropriate for this time. Loosh, food for the old gods, don't feed the dragons. There seems to be a power in this universe, or in our society right now, that wants to divide, and it is truly divide and conquer. Okay. Why they want to conquer, it's actually kind of beyond me when you stop and think about it. If you ruled the world, what else would there be for you to do? But it's the human nature to try to do more and more and more. That's why we have to have more and more money and more of this until we finally, maybe when we get older, maybe even before that, hopefully we figure out that more is not necessarily better. Stuff gets in the way, that's for sure. You see behind me my collection of crystals. Now that's over the thousands of years, it seems like, that I've been collecting crystals, and probably since Atlantis. But yeah, okay, so now they sit on a shelf. Aren't they lovely? Yes, I love them. I enjoy them. But it's just stuff, okay? And I'm certainly not going to go to war over that stuff. But I could be convinced if I was, I could get hooked in the idea is I'm going to take this, or you're not going to have this, or you're not going to have this freedom, or you're not going to, anything. If you fall down the rabbit hole of danger, Will Robinson, it's going to be horrible. We're not going to have what we need. The sky is falling. The end times are coming. Armageddon's going to be here. There's many people, I honestly believe, that are hoping that Armageddon shows up, kills everything, so they can start over. And maybe they can be right. I don't even know. But what I do know is it's illusion, because it is duality. We need duality, as I said before, because if we didn't have duality, we wouldn't know what we did want from what we don't want. We wouldn't have the density of this chair that I'm sitting in, or this house that I'm playing in, or this creation that I've built. We are creative beings. You've heard maybe that we're made in the image and likeness of God. Well, that doesn't mean that God has white hair, or God is even a body. It may not be. It's not even relevant for this conversation. But in that image, God obviously creates. He created universes. She created galaxies. They created, gosh knows what. It can't be a they because there has to be only one source, so it's got to be an it, he, she, the, whatever. I believe it is this creative force bigger than anything we can wrap our minds around. But within that, we create like it creates. We're made in the image and likeness. We create through our intention, fueled by emotion. Now, fear, negativity, the duality of isn't it awful, your side, my side, you're right and I'm wrong, that generates a friction. That generates a food actually for negative, because it's negative no matter what. If you're fighting against something, you're in fear of losing something. If you're in fear, then your soul, your essence, isn't in the joy, isn't in the space to be joyful, holy, enlightened, aware, whatever you choose to call that. And and so then you're running around in fight or flight, and your blood pressure rises, and life becomes more and more of a challenge. We like challenges, but not to the place where we get up and go to bed and we end up challenged about whether or not we're even going to eat today, or whether or not we're going to be able to pay our bills. Those kind of challenges can be avoided, but that's another subject. I teach that, and I teach spiritual science, religious science. I've got 4 or 5 books out, but the one that I'm talking about mostly today, well, 2. I'm talking about loosh. This is a how-to. How do you recognize that you're being hooked like a fish in the water? Oh, look, see, isn't this awful? Oh, and maybe even here, have a little money and go out and generate an anger and generate the emotion, because it's the emotion that actually powers the loosh. You got to have intent, but emotion is what really fuels it all. One of the things that we have as humans that I believe are different than animals is our emotional makeup. I had a near-death experience at one time, and one of the things that I was struck with when I returned was how loving it was, but how emotionless it was. It just didn't have that gut wrenching, oh my God, isn't this awful kind of you're dying, oh no, you're dead, oh no. It didn't have any of that. It was like, well, would you like to stay or would you like to go, and what would you like to do, and all that. A lot of that is in my book. I have this book here, Duality is the Illusion. I just redid it. I just put it back up online. It was my first book back in, I think it's 2010 or 2012. I don't remember exactly when I wrote this book. But here it is. Duality is the Illusion in Young Soul Planet. Because I kept getting information. I get downloads of information. I have most all of my life. And actually this book was part of a download. This little book that I wrote, 4 Simple Truths, I had to stop. And I had to stop everything I was doing with loosh and write this 4 Simple Truths. And I was just had to do it. I sat down at 2:30 in the afternoon and didn't get out of this chair right here, until 4:30 the next morning with this manuscript complete. It's little, it's not big, it could be a thesis or something really, but that's, the bottom line, no frills, no spiritual, nothing. This is a game we're playing, this is how to play it, But anyway, you might want to get that. All these are on Amazon. They're not on Audible yet. I'm working on getting them on Audible. I don't know how much I want to do that, but we'll see. I had Duality on Audible, but that was the old version, and so it's on Amazon, on Kindle, and such as that. But loosh, if you live a life and you're constantly on the go, and you're constantly problem solving, this problem, that problem, the other problem, it just keeps coming up. It just keeps coming up no matter what, and you don't have any time to just decompress and go, okay, I can handle all these problems. What's that say about me? I'm a problem solver. Let me pat myself on the back. I can get this done. Let me pat myself on the other shoulder here. Okay. uh, it can be it's great that you can do that, but it can turn into a loop. It can turn into self-fulfilling prophecy, because we are creative beings, and how we create is with our thought and our intention and our emotion. And mostly it's the emotion that got stuck in the subconscious after we got done uh, thinking it so long. A lot of times from a child, okay, we got problems, we got to solve them, whatever your label. You came into this life, you kind of chose your parents, you chose your lessons, but then you had to figure out how to learn them. It's just like you can go to college and you can choose your classes, but you don't yet know how you're going to handle the actual information that you've got to learn, and you don't know whether you're going to be good at it or not till you try it. Okay, and free will says, well, you can also say, you know what, I changed my mind, I don't like this class. Well, you can't change your mind about life, but you can change your mind within life about just how much negativity that you entertain in your own energy field. If you'll sit down in the morning, in the evening, whenever time that you choose to, and just dump it, flush it, download it, get to it, just one calm breath, 5 breaths that are devoid of who did it, who shot John, what happened, what should I do, what shouldn't I do, how should I do it. Look at what they did, look at what they did. I mean, I watch the news, but I don't watch it incessantly. I want to know what's going on, but I do it from an eagle's perch. It's like, oh, I see how this is working. I see how this is playing out. And, oh, look over here. I see how this orchestra is being orchestrated, and that's working, and that's working. And so I watch the duality in play. I call it Pam Gregory. I heard it from her. I use the eagle's perch. Okay, so I hope that you'll climb on your eagle's perch and watch your world a little bit, and find a way to unplug from it once a day, literally. And it's not with drugs, and not with alcohol, not with anything like that, because that's really just feeding the dragon again. Okay, and get this book, Loosh. It's easy read. It'll speak to you, and you can apply it to anything, whatever you're doing in your life. Okay, but I mean, I'm available for readings and such like that until I get to the Renaissance Fair. I'm available online at celestialtime.com. You can check out my webpage and then text me or something from that. But I'll be in Texas, and my girls will be in Texas too. I've got a crew of the most wonderful girls. They're women. We all have the intent. We're professional and caring psychics and intuitives and healers, and we're there to be of service in person. I love that, but I also love being able to write books and do these and see if I can't touch even one person. Just don't take the bait, don't take the hook, don't feed the dragons. That's what I want you to know today. So with that, this has been almost 15 minutes, and that's far enough. You're probably sick of talking, listening to me, sick of me talking. So I'm going to say goodbye now. Thank you so very much for your time and attention. Farewell.